such a powerful demonstration of the power, our spiritual power of power in union. And it's located in the throat chakra. And I forgot to tell you that the color is purple. Purple. Some of you saw it on the newsletter. In fact, I have to tell you, we have some friends of Unity that haven't been attending in, I don't know, 10 or 15 years. But I called them to wish them a happy anniversary the other day. And they said, we noticed that the color Sunday is purple. So they're still reading the newsletter. And they said, we are going to the memorial service of a very dear friend on Sunday. And her favorite color is purple. And I said, well, it sounds like a sign that you're supposed to come back to Unity. And they said, actually, we wondered about that. So who knows? We'll see. So how many of you have read or heard of the book by Eric Butterworth, Discover the Power Within? Okay. It's a wonderful book. I think it's a book that introduced Oprah to Unity, and it's a very much a life-changing book for a lot of people. And in the prologue to the book, he tells the story of that there was a time when all the gods, or all men were gods, but they so abused their divinity that Brahma, the chief god, decided to take their godness away from them and hide it where they would never find it again. And so when the lesser gods were called in council to consider this question of where could they hide it, one of them said, well, we will bury man's divinity deep in the earth. But Brahma said, no, that will not do. For man will dig deep down into the earth and find it. Then they said, well, we'll sink his divinity deep into the ocean. And Brahma again replied, no, not there. For man will learn to dive into the deepest waters, will search out the ocean bed, and find it. Then the lesser god said, we will take it to the top of the highest mountain, and there hide it. But again, Brahma replied, no, for man will eventually climb even the highest mountain on earth. He will be sure someday to find it and take it up again for himself. Then the lesser gods gave up and concluded, we do not know where to hide it, for it seems there is no place on earth or in the sea that man cannot eventually reach. And then Brahma said, here is what we will do with man's divinity. We will hide it deep down in man himself, and he will never think to look there. Ever since then, the legend concludes, man has been going up and down the earth, climbing, digging, diving, exploring, searching for something that is already in himself. 2,000 years ago, a man named Jesus found it and shared its secret. But in the movement that sprang up in his name, the divinity in man has been the best kept secret of the ages. So the power within, the title of Eric Butterworth's book, is our own divinity, our divine nature, our Christ self, our Buddha nature, our Allah consciousness, whatever name we want to give it, it is our divinity. And that is where our power is to come from, okay? And a lot of times, you know, in the human condition, we think that our power is by force and by might or whatever. And it's not. Our power is from that deep well of silence in the midst of us. And the human condition is also the fact that we are humanly powerless. I'm in 12-step work, and some people say, oh, well, I'm never going to admit I'm not powerless. That's a terrible thing to say, is I am powerless. But that's because they don't understand the next step. Because I am humanly powerless. But the second step is I came to believe that a power greater than me, okay? There's a power greater than me. That's our divinity. That's the power within us. And all recovery is based on knowing that, and to quit trying to do it of our human self, and to let our divine nature take us into recovery. So, so we are humanly powerless, but we are all powerful in our spiritual nature, in our divinity. And sometimes when we feel humanly powerless, we allow people to dominate us, right? And we give our power away to them. I wish I could say I've never experienced that, but I can't tell you how many times I have given my power away to people. And I'm still learning. Someday, it won't happen, but the important thing is to be aware of, that we can be aware when we are giving our power to someone and take it back. And you heard me say, I think 2 weeks ago, I talked about that statement in the Bible that he that is within me is greater than he that is in the world. And I like to take out the pronoun he and say that is within me is greater than that is in the world. So that first that is a capital. The that is within me is greater than the little t that is in the world. So that spiritual solution is to let our power be guided by our divinity, by our divine nature, and to know that that doesn't make any of us greater than the next person, but it certainly makes us equal. There's no one that's greater than us. We are all equal. We are all one. We all have this inherent power of the divine that is our birthright, that is our divine inheritance. And so it's about stepping into it. Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, said that power is the faculty that enables us to have authority over our thoughts and feelings. Now, he didn't say that we could control our thoughts and feelings in terms of them happening. You know, thoughts happen, feelings happen. And you've heard me say many times, those of you who have been here a while, I am responsible for my second thought and my first action. That first thought, that first feeling that goes with it is beyond my human control. It just happens. And so we don't have to beat ourselves up for that. But what we do have to do is we have to realize that we have the power to have a second thought that comes from our divine nature. And whether we learn to do that through the heart math process or whatever process we might use, we have that ability to think again, right? We can think again. We can have a second thought. And that's what New Thought is all about. I remember Helen Lane, she was our matriarch of the church for many years, and she used to say, I don't know why you call it New Thought. It's not new, it's been around for over 100 years. But it is new, because every moment we have an opportunity to have a new thought. And that's what New Thought is about. And that's why it's not the same as New Age. A New Thought is about thinking and about the power of thought to change our lives, because our thoughts, I think it was Margaret Thatcher that says our thoughts become our words, and our words become our action or whatever. So what we think makes a huge difference. And that's one of the ways that we can step into our power, by knowing the truth. So words are very, very important. Every time we speak, we turn on the power of the word. Every time we speak, we turn on the power of the word. And the universe becomes our human spoken decree. Okay? So every time we speak, we influence our world. We either build it up or we tear it down. And that goes for individual people we deal with too. We either build them up or we tear them down. Every time we speak, we make our own world through the power of our every time we speak. Linda Martella-Witzik, who's now the Vice President of Silent Unity at Unity Village, wrote a book called Divine Audacity. Isn't that a great title? And our prayer chaplain studied it, I think, year before last. And it's about the 12 powers and about, having the audacity to realize we have these powers within us. We are not only human. And she draws a distinction between matters of opinion expressed by us humanly and words of ultimate truth expressed with spiritual authority. Words of ultimate truth spoken with spiritual authority. Somewhere in the Christian scriptures it said that Jesus spoke with authority, right? He wasn't speaking as the man Jesus. He was speaking from his Christ self, his Christ nature that each and every one of us have within us. And that's what gave his words authority. As I was researching for today's message, I remembered this story because we know that words are ultimate truth when, we just know it when they are. And one time, many years ago, maybe 2 years into my ministry, there was a scientist in our congregation, and he was desperate to prove that God exists using the scientific method. Well, I'm not a scientist, and nobody's been able to do that. But all of a sudden, I just said these words, and I was like, who said that? And he was like, who said that? And what I said to him was, if you didn't know that God exists, you wouldn't need to prove it. And it was like, wow, right. He only needed to prove it because he wanted, to prove it to other people. But he knew it, and there was no need for proof. Prayer chaplains, hopefully, speak the word. They learn to speak the word of ultimate truth with authority. They don't speak from their human self. If I say, I know the very life that you are is moving in through and as you, healing, cleansing, purifying you right now, that's the truth. That's the ultimate truth. It's not my opinion, okay? It's not my idea, my suggestion. And so prayer chaplains learn to find that source of power and truth within them, and then speak those words in relation to whatever your prayer request is, whether it's a prayer of celebration or a prayer of some kind of need or want or desire. We learn to speak words of truth. And there's a big difference between me saying, well, the life in you is, I know it's healing you, versus saying, I know the life that you are is in the midst of you, cleansing, purifying, healing right now. That's speaking with authority. That's speaking because that's the truth. And if I'm just in my human self, I may have doubts about it. But when I'm coming from my divine nature, then I know that's the truth, regardless of appearances. Regardless of appearances. Jesus, when he called Lazarus forth, I don't know how many of you know the story, but he didn't say, gee, Lazarus, why don't you come out? We're having a party, we'd like you to come. You think you could? He said, Lazarus, come out. He commanded. And that was, again, not Jesus speaking. That was from his Christ self that he called Lazarus forth with authority. I learned a prayer very early on when I started studying Unity. And that prayer was, God, tell me what to say, how to say it, when to say it, and when to keep my mouth shut. Okay? It's a wonderful, wonderful prayer to know that there's times to speak and there's times when the silence speaks so much more loudly than words. I remember one time I was going through a divorce, and I had just left my therapist's office, and I was not feeling really good. I was very sad that, you know, not that this relationship was ending per se, but that the dream of the relationship was ending. And so I had an appointment with a massage therapist, and I said, I may cry while you're massaging, but it's not about you. I have some grief I need to be dealing with. And I cried through the entire massage, and she never said a word. The power of silence. She honored my sadness and my grief, and she gave me space, and she witnessed it. You know, it's very powerful to witness what someone's going through. And she did that and really taught me the value of silence. A Course in Miracles, Chapter 2. Some of you who are Course students love this as much as I do, I'm sure. And it is, I am here only to be truly helpful. I am here to represent Him who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because He who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever He wishes, knowing He goes there with me. I will be healed as I let Him teach me to heal. So this power that we have, this guidance that we are given, the words that we are given, if we will just listen, you know, if we will just shut up and listen, we will be guided what to say, what to do. And we allow that. You know, Jesus as a man did not heal anybody. He said, it is not I, but the Father within who does the work. And that's true for you and me as well. You know, it is not I, but it is my divine nature within that does the work. It is not you, it is your divine nature within that does the work. So how do we do this? How do we call forth and develop our spiritual power of dominion, our spiritual power of power? And we know it's always about prayer and meditation first and foremost. And somewhere in my readings it said strength, the spiritual power of strength equals stillness. Power equals silence. So we call forth our spiritual strength by becoming still, and then we call forth our spiritual power by becoming silent. And then it's a matter of, the Quakers said, pray and move your feet, right? Pray and move your feet. Follow that guidance that you're given. Step into your power and let it express in the world. In the book, New Thought for a New Millennium, my spiritual director, Unity Minister Robert Brummett says, the key to mastering our use of power lies in surrendering our personal power to a higher power, to become, individually and collectively, a vehicle for the only power in the universe, God the good, omnipotence. Unity Minister Richard Jaffola wrote, when we speak, listen, this is great, we have the largest listening audience in the world. We have 100 trillion cells. These cells are awake inside of us. They are saying, okay, what do you want me to do today? And we tell them. If we tell them we want them to regenerate and go ahead with their healing, they will do it. It will be as you desire. He said, I encourage you to speak from the glory of your divine nature. Let your words heal and comfort and harmonize your life and the lives of those around you. Speak from the glory of your own divine nature. Speak the right words so that you raise consciousness, transform lives, heal the planet, one person at a time. And let's begin now in a sacred time of shared prayer. So I again invite you to focus on the breath. Evidence of the very life that is living you, breathing you, supporting, nourishing, and inspiring you. With your inner vision, hold the picture of the radiant Christ light flowing from the top of your head through the face center and the pineal gland to be released as spiritual power from the larynx at the root of the tongue. Just breathing in and out, as if breathing in and out through the throat. In your handout, which you can refer to later, there are 7 stages in the development of our spiritual power. And starting with the level of control, repeat after me these positive, powerful, affirmative thoughts to develop your spiritual faculty of power and dominion. I invite you to speak the words out loud, feeling the vibration of the words through the power center in your throat. And you can repeat after me. Under God's direction, I carefully choose my thoughts, words, and feelings.
I carefully choose my thoughts, words, and feelings.
Poise. As a child of God, I am spiritually poised in mind and body.
I am spiritually poised in mind and body.
Accord. I live in harmony with all good in God's universe.
I live in harmony with all good in God's universe.
Endowment or energization. Through prayer and consecration, I prepare myself to receive spiritual power.
I prepare myself to receive spiritual power.
Power. Spiritual energy now flows through my mind and body.
Spiritual energy now flows through my mind and body.
Dominion. All power is given unto me in heaven and in earth.
All power is given unto me in heaven and in earth.
Master me. I am one with all power in the universe now.
I am one with all power in the universe now.
And let's know our oneness with the omnipotence that is. Together. in the silence. And as we gently bring our attention back to this time and place, silently say, thank you, divine nature that I am, for the realization that I am here to be a channel for your power, that I am needed to do your work, and that I am unlimited because you are unlimited. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That it is so, and so it is. Amen.